Hello and welcome to Stage 2 of the Formula e-Prix event at Berlin. At the end of Stage 1, my driver had enough XP to level up, so that's the first thing that I'm going to do. Other than that, I have no tuning yet, because I wasn't required to have it. And there we go, very small increase to the specs, but there you have it, small increase. What a very strange place for my car to be starting, that close to the wall. That is the wrong place to be driving for that corner. So still some really goofy things with where the cars are driving on the track. That was goofy. I hope you're not having a horrible time if you drive with assists. This one requires us to hit a certain speed 3 times. If you have to, you could drive right into the wall because it doesn't say anything about where you finish and doesn't tell you where you are in the race. And I would always like to know where I am in the race. Okay, if you watched my Stage 1 video, you heard me say something, and that is that everything I learned about braking points on Stage 1 will be thrown out the window because acceleration and top speed were horribly hampered on Stage 1. So here we are, first time racing the car as it was meant to be in the game, and as you can see, I'm overshooting my braking points. So now that I've noticed that, I might brake a little bit early for this next lap. Now, I've only met speed once so far, and depending on traffic, oh, this could get interesting. More traffic in the way. That could make it harder to set up the speed run, especially if these guys take a really bad line through the corners. Oh well. Worst case scenario, I just drive into a wall, but I'd kind of like to get really high in this race if I can. Yeah, so I won't worry about it, that corner. Ah, what a horrible race line. Man, these guys. That's a horrible race line. Oh well. Can't stay full throttle for that corner anymore like we could on day 1. Now, there's still 2 places I can nail speed, so I'm not worried. I didn't really get much done, but if I get a decent drive off the corner here, I'll widen the corner a bit, no problem. And I thought I saw some drafting working. There we go, drafting is working. That's a new thing for Formula E. Now, isn't that a nice feature? I really hope they've got that in the regular series. If not, they'll probably add it. In case you guys didn't notice, the new GTE cars, the series did not have drafting. Now they've added. Okay, look, no one in my way, no trouble hitting speed this time around. I shouldn't have to go plowing into a wall. But if I have to, I have to. Let's just see. Oh, yeah, no trouble at all. So I'm still working on my braking point. That wasn't ideal, but getting a little bit sharper. Here, you should just need to tap the brakes. And I'm not sure about this braking point. Probably between the 2 signs. Well, I guess there's 3 signs. Well, we're going to have to work on that one. And then here, I'm braking just after the banner starts, but before that distance marker. And, whoop, better tweak that a little bit too. That's okay. Wonder what position I finished in. We'll get to see that right away. Zip through this. Oh, 4th place. Well, I probably could have done better, but I'm not going to rerun the race. Let's just keep going. Okay. And servicing is still free for a little bit. So for this next event, average speed event, I don't think that's going to be very hard. What's with this? Oh my goodness, this guy's pretty well touching the wall. Man, that really made me nervous. Okay, well, another really strange start. Kudos to the bots if they actually drive that close to the wall without hitting it. And, you know, I kind of lost my place there. I wasn't quite sure where I was starting. I thought I was starting at the last corner, so I'm a little bit off here. Anyhow, no trouble with this one, I don't think. Now, a question I get asked all the time. How come I'm starting Stage 2 when other people can't? People say, oh, Stage 2 doesn't unlock for me for a whole nother day. Well, Stage 1 unlocks at a fixed time. So the race starts at a fixed time for every single person on the planet. But all subsequent stages unlock at midnight local time. So it all matters where you live. Where I live, I'm in the Western Hemisphere. Stage 1 unlocked in the later evening for me, so Stage 2 unlocked just a few hours later, and I can get going on it. This is the same for hundreds of millions of people living over here in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, back to it. As you can see, no trouble at all hitting average speed here. Now again, I don't run with assists. So no brake assists, no steering assists, no traction control. I use tilt B, and you probably have to do that. Yes, we have to do that for this stage because it's a battery power event. Again, like I said in stage 1, having this much battery for so few laps is really bizarre. Like, you could sit there and do donuts for 10 minutes and not use up this battery. I'm pretty sure about that because in the Formula E races I've done, the 20 lap races, I only used about 80% battery over 20 laps, and it's like a 17 or 18 minute race. Now, of course, you're not on the throttle the whole time there. But here you go. I'm still kind of fine-tuning my braking points. As you can see, it's a little bit sloppy, but no trouble at all hitting average speed with no tuning and driver XP. I'm on level 2 now. Just had to rack my brain for a second. We start on level 1, and yes, then I've bought level 2. So there you go, pretty easy. And I'm only going to tune as I need to tune. I was really tempted to take this thing right up to level 4 for tuning on everything because of that instant R&D, but that doesn't really help you guys watching my videos if I'm just sailing through every event. So I want to do this more like someone who doesn't have a lot of M dollars in their bank, although you really should not start this event with, boy, you know, I think you should have like 1.2 million M dollars before you start. I really don't know how much we need. I can't know. Nobody knows until we're done this. So let's just get through it. So there we go. That was pretty easy. So this one, target time is 1 minute and 4 seconds. And so where are we here? And look at that. Look how that car took that corner. That was going around there like buttons steering, and it just doesn't look great. Anyhow, all right, time doesn't start until you cross the line. So you want to drive off that last corner really good, so you get a nice run going into this. And because there's drafting, you might be able to get a little bit of a boost from some of these guys. Ooh, little bit of a loose there. Although, I didn't time that pass very good. Okay, well, so far I've been wasting time. And, oh, we're going to get tangled up again. Okay, well, no drafting. And I've definitely wasted time, so we'll see how hard this stage is. Again, I've no idea what position I'm in. And ridiculous amount of battery power for just one lap and a tiny bit. But, yeah, there's just nothing to worry about. I'm guessing at some point that's going to get more realistic. Okay, feeling a little bit better about that braking point. And still feels a little bit early. Let's see here. Oh, that's better. I might even get a little bit of draft off this guy. I'm going to catch him, not going to catch him. Quite a lot of time left over, though. Like, they may not sound like a lot, but I had like 5.5 seconds left, and that's a pile of time when you're dealing in time trials. That's a huge amount of time. All right. Now, getting on to the next stage, I'm guessing I will be... Yeah, they're going to require me to do upgrades at this point because they did last time. Okay, so this time around, I did some tests. I tried buying the cheapest upgrades first. They don't give you as much of a PR boost. So I'm just going to go all step 1 across the board, regardless of price. And in my test, like I did quite a few, I tried buying 16 upgrades in 3 different ways. The cheapest way to do it was just to keep buying them all across the board. So all step 1, all step 2, all step 3, all step 4, etc., etc. We'll tweak it as we go, but I'm not sure how many driver XP I'm going to get out of this. So I didn't want to go too crazy with the upgrades. I could have gone with a second braking, I think, for a little bit less, but it's not going to matter because at the end of stage 3, I'm going to need more anyways. This average speed event is a little bit different than the last one because you have to be going at least 133 kilometers per hour each time you cross the start-finish line. I didn't pay attention to the miles per hour because I'm used to running in kilometers an hour. I'm in Canada, and that's what we run in Canada is kilometers per hour. I do know my miles per hour pretty good because our closest trading partner is the United States, and so all of our speedometers actually have both on them. However, I'm more comfortable in kilometers per hour because that's what I have always driven in, and that's what our roads are in. So anyways, in the description it had miles per hour if you need to see that, of course, and you can go back and see it. Not much trouble here. I'm still really focusing on trying to dial in my braking points because that might be important later on. I'm assuming it will be. That was not a good braking point I just did there. Here I'm kind of going with the third distance marker. 1, 2, 3 right there. And then you got to start turning early. I didn't start turning early enough. A lot of people don't realize that it's not all about braking points. If you have the wrong trajectory with the right braking point, it won't work. So trajectory is incredibly important in racing. And that's why if you follow, like Speed Junkie does a really good braking point videos. And when I was first learning how to do time trials better, I would try to follow his braking points and be very frustrated because I'd go flying off the corners. And then I realized, it's not just, oh my, oops. Anyways, as I was saying, it's not just about braking points, it's about trajectory. So you have to pay attention to how soon someone's turning after they've been braking or before they were braking. It's all extremely important. It's geometry, basically, angles and so forth. I love that drafting is in Formula E. Boy, feels like real racing now. Now, I pushed him pretty hard into that corner. I knew that he'd go a little bit snaky, and that was by design. I shoved him a bit. Oh boy, I'm getting into those walls a little bit. And we'll take this one wide. Oh, trying to duck under you. Get out of there. All right, nice. Little bit of a dirty overtake, but hey, that's okay. And I'm sure I should be able to draft off this guy. There we go. Some nice drafting done. I love it. Beautiful. Well, you know what? That was a fun stage. With this drafting feature, those races were a nice length. Yep, I enjoyed that. Races aren't paying as much, so I got to go do some farming here, but there we go. That was a decent stage. All right, so that's the end of stage 2. I'll put the playlist video up again, as well as other videos for your viewing pleasure. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to keep on doing upgrades just as I need them, and so that'll keep that a little more realistic. Stage 3 will be up in about 24 hours. Thanks for joining me.